Welcome back, guys. My name is Max, and today we're going to be reacting to Zayn Malik. If you're new here, I'm a communication skills coach, and I react to different people's presentations, interviews, and conversations. So if this is your thing, I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel. It's extremely motivating for me to see the subscriptions, and I plan on putting out tons and tons of content. So today's video, Zayn Malik. He doesn't really seem like a guy who likes to reveal a lot about himself. He seems quite shy and quite reserved, but I'm looking forward to digging into one of his interviews. Let's go.
Hi, Zayn. We played I Don't Want to Live Forever the other day, and I was like, I hear Zayn, I don't hear Taylor. I don't hear, oh, there she is. We heard Taylor. When you guys recorded that, did you record it together or on separate continents?
We were kind of in separate places when I mentioned the idea to her. I spoke to her on the phone, and she heard the song because Jack had played it to her.
Right.
So she really liked it, and yeah, she went in the studio the next day. I think she was somewhere else. I can't remember exactly where she was, though.
Whoa. Interesting to see his body language right away in this interview. Just things like him playing with his water, him swiveling his chair, not really making eye contact, not facing the interviewer, to me shows that he's maybe a little uncomfortable, a little shy, or feels that maybe the interviewer is a little invasive. But either way, there's some glaring tells with Zayn's body language that there's a little bit of discomfort there.
And she really liked it, and she'd mentioned to me that she liked the song, so I already kind of knew in the back of my head that she liked it, so I was like, I'll ask her if she wants to be on it, and she was cool with it.
Well, don't get this wrong, but it's fitting that it's on the 50 Shades Darker soundtrack, because when I heard it, I wanted to have sex.
That's good.
I mean,
do you get to see the movie ahead of time because you have
That comment seemed to make Zayn a little more comfortable. He sort of leaned into him there. But I can hear his voice trembling a little. Like, he definitely does seem to be a little nervous in this interview. I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing when it comes to being a conversationalist or being a good interviewer, because when an audience looks at a guy like Zayn, they look at him as a guy like, hey, he's nervous. I get nervous when I do interviews. He gets nervous when he's doing an interview. I can relate to this guy, despite how big he is, despite how successful he is, despite how many people love him. He still gets nervous. So maybe that's something that the fans can relate to and connect with Zayn about.
then what's the name of the town you're from?
Bradford?
Yes.
Yeah.
It sounds like the same kind of town I grew up in.
Yeah?
Yeah, just a simple little working class town where, you know, what we did for fun is I would go, you know, to the Dairy Queen and someone would beat me up. You know, because I was always, they hated me.
That was...
Can you imagine how your life would be different had you been born in, let's say, London?
Yeah, definitely.
In what way?
I feel like...
I liked what I saw from Zayn there. When this interviewer was talking, Elvis, Zayn was really listening to him. And it almost seemed like Zayn felt more comfortable in listening mode than he did in speaking mode. So my impression of Zayn so far is he doesn't really like when the attention's on him. He likes when the attention's on someone else. And he definitely seemed to be enjoying listening to this guy speak.
Did you used to write songs as a kid?
Yeah, there was like a time in my life where I was like massively into doing like performing arts and theatre studies, and that was kind of like a part of that, and it was like a secondary thing. It wasn't something that I did like as a forefront thing, but it kind of just took over without me realizing, and I would be doing like singing lessons and, you know, stuff like extracurricular, and yeah, I just enjoyed doing it. And then a couple of my friends told me I could sing, so yeah, I thought I'd give it a go and went on X Factor, so you know that went out.
I really like the fact that he's not trying to overcompensate and present himself in a super confident way just because he feels like he has to. There's an honesty about Zayn that I can appreciate, and it's nice to sort of see his nerves and see that realness in him. He's sort of owning his nerves in a sense. He's not trying to act like Mr. Macho, Mr. Bravado.
Was there a need to write a book?
So I just wanted to clarify that, you know, I was grateful for everything that was given to me prior to my solo career, and that, you know, everything that may have been perceived as me not being grateful was down to me having some sort of issues myself, and not necessarily being able to express that was something that I wanted to explain to people.
Wow.
Seems like Zayn really does think deeply, and He does sort of struggle with anxieties, but it's nice to see sort of his honesty coming through and his vulnerability in his answers. And there's a reason why this guy's a mega superstar. I haven't heard him perform. I'm sure he's super talented, but I bet that people can connect with his music because you can tell the guy is deep. And what I'm liking now is this interviewer sort of matched Zayn's body language. The interviewer is sort of more laid back. He's not as aggressive with his body language. As a result, it seems like Zayn's becoming a little more comfortable.
Yeah. Is there anything in there that you look at it now and you go, oh, I wish I hadn't put that in the book?
Not really. No, I'm actually really happy with the way the book turned out, and yeah, everything that's in there is good, and I think the fans liked everything that was in there as well.
Really seems like a sweet guy, like a sincere guy, just from how he was sort of keeping eye contact with the woman who was asking him a question. And I almost feel bad for him a bit in this interview because I can feel his anxiety in a sense. I can feel it. He's taking a deep breath and he's trying to get through, but you can tell it definitely seems like he's struggling to get through this in a way.
You know, writing anything down is kind of a little bit of a therapy process, whether that's writing something down to yourself or writing it down in a memoir, writing down in a song. It's just a way of alleviating something that's on your mind and getting it out there. So for me, it was kind of a little bit of that, and I kind of enjoyed it. And
yeah.
It was fun to, you know, reminisce on things and think about what was bad and what was good and make sense of it.
There you go.
I didn't feel like I really...
Deep guy. Definitely. Deep guy. Another sign that he likes to, you know, really talk about his struggles, and something I can appreciate about Zayn, and something we can even learn from Zayn is his vulnerability. Vulnerability is what connects us with people, and I think Zayn, if I'm taking one thing away from this interview, is that's something that we can learn from him.
Like, you'll write a song about meeting me, I'm sure.
Yeah, of course.
And this dinosaur jump.
And my dinosaur sweater. You have a whole friggin' album out of this, my sweater I'm wearing. I didn't mean to wear this today.
This is the first time that I've seen Zayn smile. And throughout this interview, he hasn't really seemed to let loose because of his nerves. And it's nice to see that. It's nice to see that sort of genuine sort of happiness from Zayn.
Do you feel yourself growing? Do you feel like comparing yourself to 2 years ago, 1 year ago, and today?
Yeah, definitely. I feel myself growing, you know, every day as a person, just as we all do, just getting older and wiser, hopefully. And yeah, just learning things that are going to help us in our everyday lives, I guess, as well as our careers.
Zayn Malik!
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely a guy who seems to be, at least at this point in his life, who is sort of in his head a little. You know, constantly throughout the interview, it almost seemed like he was second guessing himself. He wasn't really able to be fully present in the interview, it didn't seem like. Maybe it's because he has some social anxiety, or he just doesn't like the spotlight. But it really seemed like when he was his most comfortable in this interview, he was in listening mode. It seems like Zayn, in that way, is a true introvert in the sense that he doesn't like to be the center of attention. He, in fact, enjoys other people being the center of attention, and that's when he's most comfortable. I think what's good and what we can take away from this is his level of vulnerability. You know, he's clearly an honest guy. He's not trying to overcompensate for his nerves. He's just sort of owning them in a way. So that concludes the video for today. That's Zayn Malik. I've now reacted to all 5 One Direction members. I plan on putting out a ton more content, so seeing the subscribers, seeing the likes and the views, that means the world, and I love doing this stuff. And so thanks again, everyone. My name's Max, and I'll catch you soon. Peace.